Hi, everyone, and welcome to Word to Us, a podcast by a Black first-gen female student for Black first-gen female students. My name is Kyla-Journey, and I'll be your host for this limited series talking about the taboo topics within the Black community. Now, just because I created this podcast for Black first-gen female students doesn't mean they're the only ones that can listen to this podcast. The topics I plan on covering with this series can apply to any and everyone. I know what it's like to look for a community that caters to the intersection of my identities, and I'd like to carve out a space catered to Black women created by one. Trust me, if you've been through it, there's a chance someone else has too. On today's episode, we have a special guest.
Hi, my name is Qua'Nae Thomas, and I'm a second year political science and journalism double major, and I'm also a RISE Diversity Fellow as well with Kyla.
And today's topic is going to be self-care. Before we get into today's topic, Qua'Nae, I have a question. If you were a type of silverware, what would you be?
I feel like I would be a spork or a sport knife. Something that includes all of the utensils in one, because I feel like I am like very multifaceted and just not like one singular, like I'm not a knife, I'm not a spoon, I'm not a fork, I'm all of them.
A blend, if you will.
Yes, a blend.
I got you. In terms of turning back to self-care, the first thing is, how would you define self-care?
So for me, self-care is really, it's a hard thing to define, but I feel like for me personally, it's the things that I do to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and like, in whatever ways I see fit and like whatever makes sense for me in the moment. So self-care doesn't always look the same depending on like what I'm going through in life at the time.
I think that's really important, especially thinking about sort of who you are as a person and what you're doing in that moment. Self-care can take on so many forms, and I would define it pretty much the same way. I feel like self-care is you setting aside time or setting aside an event or an activity that puts you at the center of it, and you're being especially mindful of what you're doing as a person, what you're doing for your body, and what you're doing to take care of yourself. So you talked about putting yourself first and setting aside time to think about how you need to take care of yourself. So what are ways that you do partake in self-care?
First, immediately is shopping. No matter what I'm going through, no matter like what is happening in my life, shopping is always my number one form of self-care. Because like, as you know, classes, work, internships, all that stuff gets in the way. So sometimes you don't always have time to like wake up early in the morning and take walks or do things like that. But shopping is always there for me. So that's my number one. And then of course, I partake in walks daily. Listening to music is also number two.
So big. So
music is truly like my therapy.
Yes.
I love
Spotify
music.
or Apple Music? The listeners need to know.
Apple Music, 100%. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like Spotify. It's too chaotic for me. Apple Music, because I'm not someone who needs, music suggestions. I know the music.
Okay.
So I need a space where I can put all my music in one place.
Okay.
And not have all this extra outside stuff.
Right.
And Spotify, it be giving you too much. It be doing too much. I don't need all of that. I literally just need to put my music somewhere.
Right.
That's it.
You need a vinyl collection digitally.
Exactly.
I got you.
And I also collect vinyls. So, like, you see where I'm going. Like, you see where I'm at.
I got it.
So, yeah. And that's also another form, which is in the shopping category. But I do collect vinyl records. And, yeah, love my vinyls. And I just love music overall.
I could talk about music for who knows how long. But in terms of shopping, is there anything in particular that you find mentally soothing, or anything in particular? Like, let's say if you're in a self-care mood and you're shopping, are you looking for things that you can specifically use, things to wear, things that would be helpful?
I'm not gonna lie. As long as my money is being spent, I'm happy. It doesn't matter what. Even when I go grocery shopping, I'm like, this is self-care. Like, it's so fulfilling to like be an adult. I'm quote quote unquote, because I'm like
air quotes,
not really,
y'all, air quotes.
yeah, but to be an adult and to like be able to really sustain myself. So anytime I purchase anything, I'm like, I'm grown. And that's what it is. And like, and that's also like a reclaiming of adulthood, because I feel like a lot of times people say like, you know, people like try to fearmonger us into adulthood, when it's like, it doesn't have to be the scary thing. Like,
that's true.
Everyone has to be an adult eventually, so why not make it more enjoyable and find the joys within that?
I feel like, well, yes, actually, yes to all of that. And also, when thinking about everyone going, oh, I just need and I'm quoting this, like, sweet treat, I feel like that also goes into thinking about just like taking that little moment. Like, let's say you're in the store and you're like, okay, like, I needed these 3 things, and you throw a Twix bar in there just because. Like, that's a form of self-care. And I feel like it could be the smallest thing, but putting you first and thinking about something that you actually want, not something you need to do, not something that's a responsibility, not something you need to do for someone else, but something you can do purely for you because you're finding enjoyment in it and it brings you joy. It's amazing.
Yes, definitely.
And changing the conversation a bit, in terms of thinking how we take care of ourselves in the context of setting aside time to just be, I am a person who thrives being busy. I thrive having my schedule booked. I thrive having time schedules. I thrive blocks, chunks, all of that, all of it, dedicated times, dedicated spaces I need to be in, dedicated things I have to do during those times. So when I think about taking care of myself in the context of just being, it's quite literally doing nothing. I lay in my bed, in my bonnet, my little PJ set, and I watch a show. Right now I'm watching The Great. I'm in the last season, and I think I have maybe 5 or 6 episodes left, and then I'm done with the show. And I always circle back to Law and Order SVU, which isn't that mentally, like, you know, it's a little, it's like, is this calming for me? No, not at all, because I'm yelling at Olivia, and I'm yelling at Ben, like, I'm yelling at everybody, you know? So is it calming? No, but I take time to just lay down and eat snacks and watch shows.
I'm glad you went first, because I didn't know how to like interpret the question, but like, I will say the same for me. I am also someone who thrives off being busy, off doing everything, and it was always important for me to make sure that my schedule also reflects time for me to just be and just chill. And like, you'll see that in my daily schedule, like for the semester, I have back to back things on like Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, but like Wednesdays and Fridays, nothing, like literally nothing. And then like, as people, you know, come to me, I'm like, I start filling those up little by little. But for the most part, it was really important for me to have time to just be, because I know that like, I'm just a busybody. I like doing everything. I like being everywhere, but I know that's not sustainable, like, obviously. So I had to set aside that time. It wasn't even it was less about, you know, wanting the time to just be and more about needing the time to just be. So yeah,
burnout is real. And also, with both of us being people who thrive off being busy, it's like, oh, well, if I'm not busy and I'm not doing something, then I'm wasting time, and I could be doing something so much more productive. And it's like, are you better doing something productive at like 0% capacity, like you have no passion, you have no drive, like you're there just because you're scheduled to be there? Or is it better for you to set time aside to like recoup and then come back in a little bit, or just circle back to whatever it is that you're doing?
Exactly. And I think it's so important to recognize that, because I feel like a lot of times, as honestly, just Black women as a whole, we're often just forced to continue. And it's like, well, it should be a part of your continuation to stop and take a look at yourself and say, am I at my best right now? Because if I'm not at my best, I can't do my best. Like, literally, that's impossible.
That's so true.
And also just recognizing, like, do I want to do this, or is someone else making me do this? Am I expected to do this? And like, honestly, just shifting the mindset of thinking of others when it comes to your actions, and more so thinking about yourself and your happiness is very important for me, at least in my journey of self-care.
That's really good. That's good. And also, when thinking about setting aside time to put ourselves first and think about us and not whether someone wants us to be there or not, would you consider therapy self-care? Because in my mind, therapy is a set aside time that you have in your schedule to also sit down, not do nothing, but you can sit down and talk, and therapy is what you make it. So you can go in, you can talk about how your week has been, you can talk about how your day has been, you can talk about trauma, you can talk about what your parents did when they went on vacation, you can talk about so many things. So with that in mind, would you consider therapy a form of self-care?
Definitely. Like, yeah, 100,000% without a question. Therapy is absolutely self-care. It's time for you to literally, like you said, you can talk about anything. And most of the time when you go to therapy, they will ask you what your goals are. And usually they kind of want to keep you aligned to those goals. But ultimately, if you go in one day like, I know I had these goals, but today, girl, I gotta say this, that's very much okay. You can say whatever you want to say. And yeah, the ultimate goal of therapy is to better yourself, to, to learn new things about yourself, in an effort to better yourself. So even if you're going to therapy and you feel like you're not getting better, but you're learning more about yourself so that you know how to work toward that goal of getting better. And yeah, so I feel like therapy is very important. And I know a lot of people have, opinions on therapy and whether or not it's beneficial, whether or not, we need it. But I think ultimately it's about what you want and what you need for yourself and like on your own journey. So like, if you feel like you can talk to yourself or talk to no one and just keep all those feelings inside, go ahead if that works for you. I've never seen it work for anyone, but God bless you.
That's that.
Bless your heart. But
it's about self-reflection. I feel that's what therapy is. Therapy is self-reflecting. It's figuring out who you are as a person, who you were at the time when something may have happened, and how you can grow through the things that have shaped you into who you are if they were not positive experiences. Lisa hates to see me come in. I mean, actually, no, she doesn't. She really doesn't. She said it's been a joy to like be able to see me for the past year. I personally go to therapy during the school year, and I sometimes talk to Lisa. Like, I think I scheduled one session at the beginning of the summer and one at the end, but through our university, we have access to licensed therapists, and we can schedule time to meet with them during our school day, during the school week, whenever we have time. And genuinely, I take those sessions to heart so well because I've learned so much about why my personality is the way it is, why I carry myself in specific ways, why I have a tendency to maybe talk more in specific areas about myself and then talk less about myself in other areas as well. And just the overall understanding of taking up less space as a Black female student at a predominantly white institution.
For sure. I just wanted to add very quickly that I appreciate and really love you speaking on your experience with therapy because I feel like a lot of people think, and that's why I wanted to specify that like therapy isn't just about bettering yourself because it's different for everyone. Like, I go to therapy for validation. Like, I'm very self-aware. I know everything.
Hey.
I know how everything from my childhood connects to who I am today. So really what my therapist does the whole time is say, yeah, I can see how that has connected to this. And she's literally just validating me because that's all I need is like, I know I'm not crazy.
Exactly.
I know these things are connected.
Exactly.
I just need someone else to tell me that they are.
Having an unbiased perspective to be like, no, yeah, you're valid for thinking that.
Exactly.
Completely understand.
Exactly.
And also just keeping in mind that, like you said, therapy does look different for everyone. Some people go because they're self-aware. They know exactly what has happened, what they know about themselves, all of those things. And just going and talking to someone who is there to listen to them and to hear their experiences and go, yeah, that makes sense. And then there's also the cases for myself where you think you're self-aware, but then you also need a little bit of like coaxing to talk about the things that may have brought you there. So it really, it ebbs and flows. It really does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now shifting gears a little bit to mindfulness techniques in terms of taking care of yourself. Personally, a lot of the ones that I use or that come to mind for me just include laying on the floor and I lay on my back. I lay spread out, and I'm not touching anything. And I just close my eyes. And I kind of sit there. If my mind starts to wander away from the fact that I'm laying on the floor, I have to bring my mind back.
Okay, mindfulness techniques. Yeah, I would say definitely deep breathing is one for me, and also like movement breathing, and moving your body. Yoga sometimes when I'm feeling. Yoga also is a workout, low key. So let me not get off topic though. But no, yeah, it is a great way to like recenter yourself. But definitely the breathing. There's a technique I learned on a retreat. I went on a mindfulness retreat actually over spring break on the Charles River campus. One, and like you sit on the floor, legs crossed or however you feel comfortable, but your head like up with your head like there's a string going through your body that. And then you like breathe in through the center and then turn and breathe out. And then breathe in through the center and then turn and breathe out. That's a great one to just recenter yourself.
I think we used to do that as a stretch and dance.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It all be connected.
Because they were always like, why, like when you sit as a dancer, you're supposed to sit and like be graceful and you're supposed to have good posture. Y'all, if you saw the way I was sitting just now. No, me too. But it's so hard because, and then the other thing too is if you don't know what type of shoulders you have, you don't know which way to sit is comfortable. If you have hyper flexible joints, which I found that I have, so it's too much. It's too much. But that's actually, yeah, that's cool.
And also, actually, this is a good segue because I think a lot of times we don't realize that, like, the stress and tension that we're holding internally, like, in our minds, also is reflective of our bodies as well. Like, you don't, like, the way you're sitting, your shoulders, all of that, like, you are stressed internally, so it just shows up throughout you. Like, when you can tell when someone's just having a great day because that posture's right, they're feeling good, and that is quite literally how your mental health and how you're feeling is connected to how you show up for yourself, how we care for ourselves, and like how your body literally will tell you, I'm not feeling good. Like, your shoulders are slumped, your posture bad, and you can tell like you're not feeling good.
For me, like my head will hurt, or I'll try to like work on something and my mind just won't focus on it. Sometimes I get stomach aches. Like, any little thing, if there's something going on, it just automatically, it's like a ringer in my brain, and it's like, no, like chill out. And I'm just like, no, like if we press through, we can do it. Y'all don't do that. Like, please take care of yourself, take a break. Even if it's, especially for mindfulness techniques, you can literally do them anywhere. Like, you can always take a second. If you can't do it in the space that you're in, if you just go to the bathroom and sort of take a second, for me, a lot of the time, I'll wet, like, a paper towel. Because I hate the texture of wet paper towels, and sometimes wetting it and holding it will bring me to a sort of mental state where I'm like, okay, cool, like, this is what I'm feeling right now, and it sort of off tracks my thoughts from whatever spiral I was going in if I feel myself starting to get anxious. Another thing too, I sweat really easily if I'm stressed too. So it's headaches, stomach aches, sweats, like just and cold sweats, hot sweats, any type of sweats. I just be like, you guys, like I'm hot, like I have to leave. But it's literally all in my head.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And I try to like share that with other people or explain that, but it's really hard because it's one of those things where you don't realize it until you become so aware, like until you become aware of it. But your body, like, it's actually really crazy how your body will tell you like it's not okay. But I think the biggest thing is just listening. And that's the hardest part, is actually listening. Like, my body wants to rest right now. Oh, right. My body wants to rest right now. But knowing that you have so much work to do, and it's like this tug of war, kind of like, I have this much to do, but my body wants to rest. Do I keep pushing my body to like the point of like I literally can't do anything else?
Exactly.
Or do I do this work? Or no, wait, what? No. Wait. Or do I let my body rest so I can come back to this work and give 100%? And that's just one of the hardest things, I think, when it comes to self-care especially, is knowing when to let yourself rest.
In terms of talking about how your body will sort of tell you what's going on, I think another thing too is your mind will also tell you what's going on too. Like, even if it's subconscious, like, obviously, if your mind can't speak for itself, then your body will, because they're connected. They make you sort of the physical being outside of, like, your spirit and your soul. And I think a lot of the time when you're prioritizing work or things that you need to get done, or you know that you have a busy schedule, you have a tendency to sort of forget about the very small things that are the regular upkeep of your body. And that can cause you, because eventually at some point you're gonna be like, dang, like, I feel really, really shitty, and I wonder why. And you're like, oh, it's because I haven't eaten, like, a proper meal in however many hours or even days, or I haven't necessarily taken the time that I normally do to shower and not think about anything. I'm always thinking about the next thing. So it's always the thing.
Yeah, it's always the thing. And I think also, just going back to especially, like, as Black women, and especially as college students.
Oh, yes.
There's always something that we have to do. And I think when it gets to a point where, like, we're not okay, we're not feeling okay, we always have to decide between ourselves and our well-being, or getting everything done. And ultimately, I feel like we're always kind of forced to just get everything done and put ourselves on the back burner. And it's, again, back to what I was saying of, like, listening to yourself. You have to get to that point where you start listening to yourself, because it's not even it's not just about how you show up. It's also just, like, how your life is going to end. Like, how do you want to look back on these years and feel about your college years, whatever. And we also are humans, and we deserve to be okay and to take care of ourselves and prioritize ourselves in the ways that, like, so many of my peers get to do. And that's, like, a goal of mine in this new journey that I'm on, is, like, I see XYZ, you know, I see my peers being able to do these things. That's something that I want to be able to do as well. Because, yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that a lot of people, or I keep saying a lot of people, I'm talking about Black women, because I'm speaking from my experience, but a lot of the times, like you said, it's just, okay, I'm on go, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta take care of this, I gotta take care of that, and then you just keep going, and then eventually you reach that burnout. And then when you're trying to reach out for help, because you rarely do, it's sort of like, who do I even talk to about this? Because obviously you have your friends, and then in certain cases you might want to talk to someone who might be a professional in a specific area or something like that, but it's a lot. But you as a human being deserve to rest, even if you're busy. Like, I'm thinking about it now, like, looking back on my college years, I know, like, 15 years from now, I'm about to be like, dang, I had fun for 2 semesters, and then I just immediately locked in. But I think that's just the type of person that I know I am. I knew when I came to college, I'm like, okay, everything here, like, my experience at UMass here is dependent on my financial aid, and my financial aid is dependent on my grades, because it's mostly merit, and then everything else is based off of income. But for the most part, merit is carrying me. So I'm like, okay, if I don't ever let myself get interested in anything fun or anything entertaining, and I only focus on academics, resume building things that are sort of helpful for me in terms of networking, then I don't have to worry about, you know, my college experience being taken away from me by outside circumstances.
That's heavy. Whew, girl. Dang. Yeah. I feel like when I came into college, I definitely was in that space of grades are, like, the most important thing, which they should be. Like, we're here. I'm paying to go here. I'm here to get a degree.
Because if I'm paying, it's time or money. It's time or money. Yeah. It's one of the two.
Like, definitely. So, like, freshman year, I was, like, an academic weapon. Like, actually a weapon, guys. Like, I did not play. I was in everybody's office hours. Yep. I was to class 15 minutes early. Like, It was actually insane. And then, you know, you get to sophomore year. It's like... Ooh. Okay, so, right.
You're like, oh, I can do this. I can, like, not go. I can go later. I'll only go when we have an in-class exam. I'll only go at the end of the semester. I'll go at the beginning and then, like, it just becomes a cycle. It really does. We're like, I don't have to go today. I could go on Thursday.
Yeah. And I feel like the biggest thing is just a balance.
Yes.
You know, because... Again, you will never get these years back ever again. Like, literally ever again in your life. So, I'm also in the space of, like, finding that balance of academics, focusing on those and being important. Also work, because we don't talk about that either, like this middle ground of like it's not academics, it's not just having fun, but like it's like I don't know, I get money for it. So like work is just like this weird middle thing, but also having fun, being with your friends, going out, having a good time, because that is also what college is for. Like you're supposed to explore, learn yourself, learn the world.
Yeah.
And I don't think we talk about that enough, especially as students who are like considered like leader.
I know what you mean, because it's like you're an academic weapon, but to the point where you're in quite literally every student leadership position you could possibly humanly be in. But it's because yes, you're interested, but also you know this is something that could lead or make a path for you in the future.
Yes.
Not that they're only doing it for resume building, but you know the mission behind whatever you're doing is also important.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just think that a lot of students don't really know that that's an option for us, especially a lot of student leaders. I think we always feel like, no, like X, Y, and Z, like I'm known as this, and this. I can't possibly go out and have fun and do this other side of college that a lot of people do. But the biggest thing that I like to like stress is like, yes, you can. Like you're still a student, like you're still a young person at the end of the day. Like you're in your like late teens, early 20s, like even professors understand. Like, girl,
they do.
It's okay.
They do. They really do.
It's okay to go out and have fun because you know, like you have your whole life to be a leader, quite literally, and that doesn't mean you're not a leader if you go out and have fun.
Exactly. Like hello. Actually, I don't know if I can speak on that but the way that I understand sort of the main thing that a lot of Black students or Black women or Black men get involved in when they're on campus is they get involved in the Divine Nine, like fraternities and sororities, because that is, yes, it's a student leadership opportunity, but it's also another way to form community and interact with other people that look like you, that may come from the same background, or they at least understand what it means to just be Black.
An affinity space in a sense.
Exactly.
And of course, you know, I'm a Delta, guys. I can actually speak on this. No, but definitely like you said, finding a group of people that look like you, are geared towards the things that you are geared toward, and the principles that you follow.
Yeah. Accountability partners.
Definitely accountability partners. And also, the student leaders aspect as well. Giving back to your community service, all of these things, in which all D9 was founded on, that you can be a space for you, especially at a PWI, like, you know, like,
because it's like you already go into a space and not everybody look like you, so it by default you're like, well, I know one place I can go to sort of find my people, but there are genuinely so many different areas. You just have to be willing to step outside of yourself and put yourself in an uncomfortable position for at least a little bit of time to get to know new people. Oh, that cloud looks like a wing. Like a angel wing, not like a chicken wing. But you have to be willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable position for a little bit of time to get to know new people and to find sort of either small groups, big groups, communities within the larger college campus, to just be comfortable with yourself, but also have people around you that have similar goals and push you to be better.
Yeah.
As someone who is in a lot of student leader positions, what you said about not feeling like you're allowed to have fun because you're in that specific role, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm low-key shy. I'm a homebody. I like to be inside. So I just feel like I just have to uphold that homebody reputation. If I'm ever seen outside, I'm like, you guys, it's not me, it's my doppelganger. It's literally my doppelganger. And so many of my friends are like, KJ, like, you can go out, like, no one's stopping you from going out. And I'm like, no, I know, like, freshman year me knows very well, like, I could go out if I really want to. I just don't. Granted, I'm not doing anything, like, I'm not working, I'm not doing homework. You guys, like, the streets called, and then I stopped answering, so then they stopped calling.
Oh, they don't ever stop. You just gotta unblock them.
I don't know. I didn't realize I blocked them, you know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but yes, because I felt like that for a really long time. I was trying to uphold this. And a lot of times, I'm not going to lie, this is me being overly self-aware. I feel like I had to adhere to what people thought of me, because it's not that I was a homebody, because I actually don't like being in the house.
Like, you guys, I'm trying to be out, like, it's nice out, let me go outside, let me just go for a walk.
No, literally, I don't like being in the house, but it's just like, that is what people assumed of me, or like always said, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so like, this is just who I am. Stay inside. Right. But then I was like, actually, no, like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, some weekends I want to go out, some weekends I don't. Like, that's okay. But just having that, like reclaiming my autonomy and being like, yeah, so I actually get to decide what I want to do in my life.
That's true.
No one else does that. You know, no one else can do that for me. That's been very liberating, very important to my mental health and like how I'm growing and bettering myself. And also how I show up for my friends and in other spaces too. Definitely. And it also has allowed me to connect with people on a better level, because I feel like I don't even know how to put it into words, but like when you are so in tune and like aligned within, you are so much like more set up to do that with other people, like to make friends, to do the whole thing. Because like I get it, like sometimes I'm just like, okay, I done met all the people, like leave me alone.
It's like I can't do nothing else. But I think one of my favorite things from when I did go out and I was just like spending time, like for the most part, it was like 3 sort of, not friend groups, but 3 sort of groups of people that I would kind of shuffle between. And it was always funny because no matter what, somebody at some point in time, I would say something, or maybe they overheard something, and they'd be like, you know what, like, I love your vibe. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Yes. But just when you are in specific spaces and you know who you are and you know how you want to come off, you know how you're presenting yourself, and you just know, like, yeah, I'm here to have a good time, I'm here with people in this moment that I want to be here with, that sets the ball rolling to sort of have a good night. Now, you guys, we know this episode is about self-care, so here is a tip of self-care. If you do not like them people in real life, you are not going to like them people at the party. I pinky promise you. I don't care.
Snaps.
I don't care. I don't, like, even if you're just like, oh, well, like, they mean well, or maybe just this one time, you guys, I pinky promise you, how that person acts in an academic setting, for the most part, professor aside, obviously, because you're going to act one way when you're talking to a professor versus your friends, but I pinky promise you, in a party setting, if substances are involved, it just amplifies it. It just amplifies it.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite things to say to people. Like, don't, or like, always listen when someone tells you who they are.
Yes, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Do not ask them for more evidence. Do not try and create this whole new persona for them. That's not who they are. Who they are is exactly who they showed you they are and what they told you they would do. Yes. Especially if you're trying to become friends with someone and you hear how they're talking about other people when they're not in the room, or you're hearing how they're talking about people who they call their so-called, I'm using air quotes, friends, that will really, really show you whether or not you want to be close to that person or whether or not they will just be a classmate.
Yes. Also, prioritize, like, this is just also being, like, just self-care. It's under the self-care bubble, but prioritize your peace.
Ooh,
one thing about me, I don't play about my peace. I am so quick. I was just talking to my friend about this earlier. She was like, yeah, you're so quick to cut somebody off.
Yes.
I'm like, if you are bringing stress into my life, additional stress, first of all, because I'm already, I'm going through a lot. But if you're bringing additional stress that I don't need, you're cut. Like, just get out of my life. Thank you. It's actually so easy for me to do that because I'm just so self-aware, and I know, like, I can't take any additional stress. Like, if you are bringing that, you actually have to go. Like, it's not even a question.
Like, I cannot try and justify it. And it's also, it's my phone, it's my life, like, it's my device. And, again, this is not a very self-centered, like, it's my way, I get what I want. Genuinely, there are just certain people who you will not click with, and it is okay to let them know that. And you can do it. Listen, if they're disrespectful, I'm not saying you have to be respectful. Obviously, the big person in me is, like, the bigger person in me is, like... the bigger person in me is, like, you should be respectful, but... You know what? Sometimes people do weird stuff and you're just like, I would never understand why they would do something like that to me. But then think about it. It's a blessing. You don't understand how they could be that weird because it's not something you would ever do.
And when you can't understand someone's weird actions, like, you shouldn't. Like, don't even try.
Don't even
try to understand. Okay. It's not meant for you to understand because it's actually insane. And that's just it.
That's it. That's the end, actually.
Yeah.
But it's, the peace thing, too. Especially if you're walking into a room, or just in general, when you know who you are and you're very confident in that, and you genuinely do not care what other people think, it's really, really hard, especially in this day and age when everything is so visible. Everyone is posting things online. They're posting their life. They're making things look aesthetic, and you're just looking and you're scrolling, and then it gets into this whole thing. It's all fake. Literally, everything on your feed is curated. Someone took their time out of their day to take these pictures, to maybe edit these pictures, to put them together, to make this mirage of what seems to be a perfect life. I pinky promise you that is not what it looks like. And if you were in that person's shoes, that is just a snapshot of what's going on. Obviously, everyone has their own privilege and sort of situation that they can put themselves in. But I pinky promise you, when you get to a point when you are truly at peace with yourself and you do not take others sort of, not commentary, but just like what other people may or may not think about you, when you don't take that into consideration, that's a different, that's the ultimate level of peace.
Yes.
So to sort of wrap this up, I think if there would be any takeaway from this sort of conversation that we've had, self-care is a culmination of many things. It's a culmination of your mind, where you're at mentally. It's a culmination of your body, how you're feeling, what you're doing, what you're putting into yourself, and also your environment. Sometimes you're just in a specific environment that makes you act a specific way just when you're there, and then when you leave, you're good to go. But just take into account how you're feeling emotionally, physically. You deserve rest. You deserve to be able to have fun and go do fun things, and you don't have to be this strict, I take care of business persona all the time. And this is also for myself, so yes, I am listening.
Yeah, I think for me, like, wrapping up, I will say everything you just said, like, yes, girl, yes.
Thank you.
But the thing that I would want to add is just, like, centering joy and making sure, like, laughing is a big thing for me. You know, I'm always laughing. Someone even said to me yesterday, like, all you do is laugh. And I said, yes. And yes, because I feel like we live in one of the heaviest times right now. Like, we live in a world in which a lot of things are always happening.
It's so uncertain,
so uncertain, and we quite literally have no control over a large majority of it. The thing you do have control over, you know, there's a lot, but the thing you have the most control over is yourself and your happiness and your joy. And my biggest thing is always to just maintain that. We need the laughter, we need the happiness. That is how we get through the roughest of times. And then there's always time for work. There's always time to get work done, but make sure you're prioritizing your health and your happiness first.
Yeah, listen, y'all, if you need a good kiki, a good giggle, sometimes.
Please, I'm here.
Yeah, me too. Because sometimes you really just need to talk to somebody really quick, and you're just like, it's like the moms that post on Facebook, and they're like, I had such a good time today with my friend Shannon. You made me laugh so hard, girl. I needed this so bad. Thank you.
Yes, and I will be me.
Exactly. Full story in the comment section.
Yes, and that will be me, because I love a good laugh.
I do. I love to giggle. I really do.
Me, like, just giggling it up.
Food for thought. Thank you for spending your time listening to this conversation and engaging with topics you might not have verbalized before. As always, thank you for your time, dedication, and reflection on these topics. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, this is a word to us. Share it when you feel ready. Peace, Kyla-Journey.